Learning English with English Faculties.
Welcome to our Explainer, where we break down stories that really make you think. Today, we're unpacking a tale that asks a truly haunting question, digging into some really complex ideas about memory, trauma, and time itself. So let's dive into Satyajit Ray's incredibly chilling short story, Indigo. It's a tale that takes that exact question and runs with it. It's a story of supernatural possession, yeah, but it also digs deep into colonial history. And it all begins with one man, one car, and one very, very bad day.
So let's meet our guy, Aniruddha Bose. It's 1968, he's a 29-year-old ad exec, and he's just trying to go on a simple road trip. But yeah, you can probably guess. His journey goes completely off the rails right from the get-go.
I mean, look at this. His day just completely unravels. First, an unexpected visitor messes up his schedule so he leaves late. Then boom, a flat tire slows him down. And just when you think it can't get any worse, well, nature itself decides to join the party.
And he gets caught in something called a Norwester. Now, this isn't just a bit of bad weather. Oh no, it's a crazy, violent regional storm, a full-on assault of thunder and lightning that leaves him totally lost, helpless, and yeah, you guessed it, with a second flat tire on a completely deserted road. He's got no more spares. He is completely, utterly stranded.
Okay, so he's desperate, right? The rain finally lets up a bit, and he spots this faint light in the distance. He follows it, and what does he find? This desolate old guest house, a dak bungalow, which is a leftover from the British Raj. It's basically a remnant of a really dark chapter in India's history.
The caretaker, a guy named Sukhan Ram, offers him shelter for the night and casually drops this bombshell about the bungalow's past. And with just these few words, he plants the first, chilling seed of the horror that is about to absolutely shatter Aniruddha's reality.
So, in the middle of the night, Aniruddha wakes up. He hears this weird scratching sound, and then the deep baying of a hound. But that's just the start. He reaches for his watch, it's gone. His flashlight, his suitcase, everything's vanished. And then he looks down at himself.
And this is where things get truly terrifying. The transformation is just total. He looks in a mirror and sees this 19th century Englishman staring back at him. We're talking blonde hair, thin lips, and eyes that are just filled with this mix of hardness and suffering. Even his own voice, it's not his anymore.
And the possession just gets deeper. Some unseen force literally pulls him over to a desk. His body is no longer his to control. He picks up a quill pen, dips it in an inkwell, and starts writing in this old leather-bound diary.
And the hand, which, remember, isn't really his hand, writes a date, April 27th, 1868. That's exactly 100 years in the past. So Aniruddha, our guy from 1968, is now just a prisoner in his own body, forced to channel the final thoughts of a long-dead and very troubled indigo planter. What he writes is basically a confession. The planter talks about his crushing guilt, his sickness, and this brutal system of indigo cultivation, where local peasants were pretty much forced into servitude just to produce this valuable blue dye. His life was built on greed and cruelty, and deep down, he knows it. And you can see here, this entry reveals a man completely trapped by what he's done. He's too ashamed to go home to England. He knows he's going to die on what he calls alien soil. And his biggest worry? It's for his loyal dog, Rex, because he's terrified the locals will kill the dog once he's gone.
But here's the thing, Aniruddha isn't just reading a diary. He's not just a passive observer. Oh no, he becomes an unwilling participant in the planter's final violent moments. The confession might be over, but the ghost's actions are far from finished.
And Aniruddha can only watch in absolute horror as his own body, completely controlled by this ghost, carries out this gut-wrenching murder-suicide. He raises the pistol, shoots his own trusting dog, and then walks back inside to end his own tormented life. And just like that, everything goes black.
Then he wakes up. There's a knocking sound. It's Sukhan Ram, the caretaker, and he's got tea. The sun is shining. The whole supernatural nightmare seems to be over. But the mystery? It's not quite solved yet. He looks at his wrist, and his watch is somehow back on. And it reads April 28th, 1968. A whole day has passed since his car broke down. Everything is back to normal. The bungalow looks old and run down again, and wouldn't you know it, there's a car repair shop just down the road. And this
This is the key to the whole mystery. Aniruddha's terrifying night happened on April 27th, the exact 100th anniversary of the English indigo planter's death.
So what this story is really getting at is that the intense trauma and guilt from that night, it left a kind of psychic scar on the land itself. It became this powerful memory, almost a conscious force, that demanded to be relived on that very specific anniversary. And it just so happened to use poor Aniruddha as its vessel.
Indigo leaves us with a really powerful question, doesn't it? It makes you think about the lingering impact of historical injustices, the stories that might be haunting the very ground beneath our feet. And it forces us to ask ourselves, is the past ever really in the past?